it's just gonna get worse and worse. So I know Diddy gonna try to get himself up out of this, but it ain't nothing gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen at all.
You've
Watch.
got to look at the fact that he was found guilty of two charges, one relating to, the workers he paid for while in a relationship with singer and model Cassie,
Mm-hmm.
and the other related to the workers who took part in sessions with Jane, another woman who he was later in a relationship with, who was not identified outside during the trial. These fall under the charges of the American Mann Act, which prohibits interstate relation to,
Mm-hmm.
working. Is the word I'm going to use. He was found not guilty of two counts of trafficking. However, just because they didn't find him guilty of it,
They don't mean that he ain't gonna be charged with it.
well, it's still kind of inner threaded in my opinion, because it all comes back around to all the people that were moving through, all the parties and the hotel parties. There's no other word for what happened but trafficking.
Yeah.
One big part about it, both Cassie and Jane gave evidence telling the courts how they felt manipulated and coerced and sometimes blackmailed. He blackmailed everybody that moved against him.
They giving that man 20 years.
That's what they're pushing for.
And as you can see what they said,
Each one of those transportations to engage carries a maximum sentence of 10 years. So they're getting them on two charges for up to 20 years. But again, they're trying to push for time served, which will put them at 14 months.
you think he gonna get off on that though?
I don't know what to think on that one, because realistically speaking, a lot of people, went through hell with this man. Even enduring working for him, he was not an easy person to work for. He was very hard on his staff. He didn't allow for room for,
Any
personal life.
mm-hmm.
You had to be at his beck and call. Even with Cassie, she couldn't just go home if she wanted to. She was at his mercy. When she would leave, he would send somebody to go get her. This is why Kim Porter stepped back, because she couldn't live that type of lifestyle. She'd rather raise those kids and co-parent than to live the chaotic life that he lived, and to live under his demand and his rule. He felt like he was king of the world. He treated people like he was king of the world. And you either bend to his will or,
Yeah, did he get rid of anybody real quick? And I know a lot of people like, hey, as soon as y'all come in the building, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. They just gave Diddy 20 years. He gonna get sentenced to 20 years, y'all.
I think what Cassie did opened a huge door for women everywhere, not just in the case of P. Diddy, but stuff like this goes on all the time. And she really was brave enough to put her story out there and empower women to be able to speak their truth. And that in itself is history making.
I wonder, do the people who be watching this, is they fans of Cassie or him? Because both of them was hand in hand.
Yes,
that's what a lot of people keep saying in the comments.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think Cassie was completely innocent. She played her part, but she took that time to stand up and say enough.
But do you think that she gonna actually get justice? Like, I know she got the settlements or whatever, but you see how they flipped it around and came right back for her.
I think in a way she's getting justice just by being able to have her story out there and to be able to get that off her mental load. That in itself can tear a person down. And to be able to release that and to get the help that she needs to move forward and have a healthy life and be a better parent for her own children and to be a better role model for people. I think she will in her own way get justice. Do I think P. Diddy is going to serve full justice? We're going to have to see what happens October 3rd when he goes back to the sentencing.
Man, he panicked as soon as they said everything about the time that he was finna get. He keep thinking that he finna get out of jail. What happened with Tupac? Why ain't nobody saying nothing about Tupac? You heard what Jaguar Wright said. Jaguar Wright, she exposed it all, every single thing that they was trying to hide.
at the end of the day, I'm really surprised that they haven't brought this up into the light of legal action yet. There's so many circumstances, right down to the book that has been written. It's mind-boggling.
But the stuff that was in that book, it all like man, it's literally gonna turn on them. It's gonna turn on them, and I know a lot of people think that Diddy gonna get off on this one. Diddy ain't getting off on this one. Diddy did too much, and a lot of people was right there, and they saw everything that went down, man. And they telling it all. They telling like you saw the shit. Come on, man.
You can feel the pain in their stories. Like, this isn't something that was just made up just to make a quick dollar. This is truth. It's sad. It is.
Who do you go to? That's what I said, didn't I? Right on this couch.
That is. So, and we're gonna touch on all that because this is gonna be a slow.
Touch on it real quick and just
Yeah.
get past it because there's so many things I'm sure we need to discuss. Let's just have a little Q&A.
Let's go.
Was Cassie only Diddy's girlfriend, or did she start off as an employee?
That's deep.
I honestly don't know the answer to that.
She started off as an employee.
It's the way
She was supposed to have been going over to Columbia Records with Ryan Leslie. And then somehow that whole thing turned into her getting signed to Diddy on a 10-album deal.
Because he made her promises.
Yeah.
If anybody bothers to remember, she made it very clear he had been at her since she was like 18, 19 years old. It didn't become so-called official until her 21st birthday, and she was already signed. Matter of fact, if I'm correct, I believe that's the night that Britney Spears was there at that party as well, and they said that she was seen left with Diddy, half out of her gourd, and Diddy was joking about what he had done with her. But I guess, we want to skip over all of that. So she started out as an employee. All of the beatings, because there were more than the beatings that we saw on that tape. Which, by the way, I also sat here on this couch and said he was beating that girl, he was raping that girl, he put the boots to that girl, and dared her to say anything. And you said, why would he do that? Because I said, because he thinks he's God.
Exactly.
Now, we all saw that tape come out on my birthday, May 17th, 2024. And even though that was the first time I had seen that tape, it sounds like I described exactly what he was doing to that girl on that tape without me seeing it. How could that be possible? How could I be that right? How could I guess that good?
How did you know, Jack?
Once again, everyone knew.
They were talking about that tape.
Everyone knew. Just like the witness.
They were talking about that tape before it ever actually surfaced. People knew that tape was out there. People knew that he had paid off the hotel person to get rid of that tape.
They said he paid $50,000.
Oh, somebody paid more to release it.
So if he paid that money, I bet he didn't make them sign no NDA.
Obviously not. Or
they would have put the police. They would have put the people on his ass.
Here's a fun fact about an NDA: when you're doing something illegal, it's ineffective.
Oh shit!
Who came forward? Who was too afraid when the grand jury came forward and they wanted her to testify? And she decided she was going to fall back, hoping that the government had enough from all of the raids, because they should have been able to make the case stick with everything that we know that they found during those raids. They had more than enough evidence. Funny how none of it made it to court.
Who did you
Just a bunch of weirdo tapes of Cass.
all the evidence that didn't make it to court. Like, come on now, all the videos. Where is all of that? They stopped talking about the things that they found in his house and started focusing on testimonies only. The prosecutors did not even divulge half of the evidence.
They went in his safes and found the stuff that was in his safe. That's how you know it was some series whenever they get a search warrant to go inside of your safe. Like,
they met him at the airport to confiscate his cell phone. They took everything.
Okay, why they ain't speaking about nothing that they found though? They only speaking about what certain witnesses said. I don't like. It's kind of like I'm trying to still like wrap my finger around this. Like, I don't know if some of the stuff was held back or was they realized like didn't want to convict him on that other stuff because it was irrelevant to the lawsuit in the case that Cassie was putting against him.
That's a theory. That is a theory, but at the same time, like she said, there was enough evidence to lock it down.
Damn.
Seeing that Jane girl and 50 Cent's very unfortunate baby mama. It's funny because I think I also remember talking about Daphne with y'all before, and I expressed that maybe the reason why Curtis had a problem was because he didn't realize she was a Diddy doo-wop bop before him.
Yep, you said that.
And maybe she might have brought some things to him that he didn't like. I'm sorry. How many different testimonies did we hear of all of the different VD that was passed between Diddy and his so-called parties that only happened with him and his little weirdo girlfriends or whatever?
Do you want your videos to look like this? Well,
what you think? Like,
I think, they went with the fact that he drugged them and gave them too much alcohol and they were
in just 14 days, we've taught all these people how to do it. Our program
discussions about these parties before they ever took place. So how much of it was consensual versus how much really wasn't?
You think that they're gonna let Diddy off on this?
I don't know.
I'm talking about off on like this specific topic about everything that he did to those people inside of that party.
Right now, I mean, if you look at it, it might seem that way. It's kind of disheartening. Like, I don't wish bad for nobody, but I do feel like justice needs to be served. And when you live this type of lifestyle and you hurt people the way that you did, mentally, physically, emotionally, I mean, he beat the crap out of her in the middle of the hallway in a hotel room.
So by them even by him paying them off and them holding the tape and then releasing it, who else knew about it? Who paid them to release it?
Exactly. And what other evidence do we not know about because he may have paid somebody off to get rid of it? Like, it really just makes your brain go, something doesn't add up. There's something missing out of all of the conversations. There's a lack of detail. I'm looking for more detail. Like, and I really like to know what people think. Like, do you feel like evidence was removed? Do you feel like they didn't give it to us straightforward the way they should have? Maybe that something got erased? Like, there's just too much lacking. And they're only going after such a simple charge at the end of the day when they could have gotten him on so much more.
Hit the like button if y'all think that Diddy, he gonna eventually do that time, and then they gonna just bring up what happened to Tupac. You know, you can go to jail for one thing, and then they can bring more charges on you.
Well, that would be an absolutely separate case. So absolutely. If they could pull forth the right evidence showing where he paid for, it's murder for hire is what that is. If they pull forward that evidence and they're able to prove it, man, I would not want to be in that man's shoes because game over. Like, flat out game over. There is no rebound. There is no coming back. There's no potential music deal. I mean, you might want to write a book about your life because that's about the only thing that you're going to make some money off of.
Man, I want justice for Tupac. Hey, if you rocking with Tupac, drop the Tupacs down in the comment section. Drop the Get Well Cassies down in the comment section.
At the end of the day, this man manipulated his way through life, buying off anybody he could to get where he wanted to be. If you got in his way, you were going to be removed out of his way. He came from a family where they didn't care. They would run over you in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at where his father came from. I think it all kind of just hand in hand.
Man,
He's had to give back the key to the city. He's been removed as an honorable from many schools that he was. They were talking about even giving back his donations. They don't even want his money. And what school gives back the money? They need it. Like, people do not want to be associated with this man. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to be associated with that man either.
man, I want to hear what Jaguar Wright said. Because when it all boils down to it, Jaguar Wright, she wasn't lying about nothing. She been telling the truth since the beginning. And a lot of people tried to, discredit everything that was said. Every single thing.
How many? I mean, Cassie's literally being sued by a sex worker right now for transmission of these things.
What are your thoughts on Clayton Howard?
I think he's a nigga. And I think somebody paid him to do everything that he's doing right now. Because I'm going to tell you something. And let's just be very clear. You know, they keep trying to paint all of this weirdo stuff without literally putting the sodomite title on the diddler. But no straight man allows that much beefcake all up in his face and wants stuff rubbed all over him. And that's just, it's not possible. It's not real. And male sex workers, I mean, I would know. I dated a few when I was younger.
Yeah, feelings for.
Feelings? Feelings. I mean, erections definitely, but feelings? I think people are getting real, just like numb in the brain to what all of this is that's going on. You know, just like all of the baby oil celebration, when I guess people are forgetting that it was initially reported by the feds.
So many bottles of baby oil. I'm sorry, that's not funny. But they literally kind of covered that up. They talked about it for a brief moment, and literally people made a mockery out of it. TikToks, YouTube videos, they made it a joke.
Yeah, they tried to drag his name through the mud because of the rumors or whatever. But you saw, hey, we already know what goes on. We know exactly what goes on with that.
It is just a little bit crazy, ain't even the word. Like,
what you think? What you think? Because I know.
Like she said, she said it pretty well. No straight man is going to have all that going on around him. No straight man is going to want to
do all that. No, but they said
happening.
They said Diddy had something to do with a lot of people. What they said about Kim Porter? Because matter of fact, I'm gonna say that for another video. I'm gonna say that for a whole nother video.
That's a whole story in itself. You know, it just makes you wonder how he got through life the way he did for so long and lived and did these parties, and why did it take so long?
Nobody, I don't think they asked cared at first. And a lot of people be stuck in their feelings, and a lot of people be sitting back trying to say this and say that. Man, talk about the real stuff. Talk about what really happened instead of talking about certain, you know what I'm saying?
But then they would have to take ownership for their part in it if they did. Like, the amount of people that got caught up in the allegations and the amount of people that could have been named. This is why even right down to Jay-Z, he pulled back. He said, well, I'm not friends with him, even though they had a long history of a friendship and working together. Days after Ventura's lawsuit, a woman named Joey Dickinson filed a lawsuit accusing Combs of drugging, harassing, and abusing her. They called it revenge in the lawsuit. The suit states that Dickinson was a psychologist student at a university when she agreed to go on Combs' date in 1991. And she appeared in one of his music videos. So to me, it seemed like if you really look at the history, he would use the fame. Hey, I can make you famous if you come on a date with me, go out with me. And this is how he would entice these young women to even start talking to him. Days later, she says that she realized she had been drugged and was unable to get out of the car since she could no longer stand or walk on her own. And this is when she alleges that Combs took her to another location and proceeded to assault her. And this is where they're getting him for transportation.
See, what they should have did was they probably should have charged him with the girl that he took to the other location. I know they said for transportation and all that, but she didn't speak up in court.
A lot of them didn't. They did not call every witness that filed a grievance against him. Last November, Lisa Gardner filed a lawsuit alleging in 1990 that she was assaulted by Combs. The lawsuit says days later, he assaulted and choked her until she lost consciousness.
That's bogus.
In an amended complaint filed October 8th, Gardner adds that she was only 16.
When he did that?
Yes. It goes on to allege that Gardner and her 15-year-old friend met Combs at a hall at MCA Records event in New York where they reportedly supplied with alcohol.
See, he was playing a dirty game. He was playing a real dirty game. Like real talk. When he know for a fact he got children of his own. I ain't gonna even sugarcoat it. He got children of his own, and for him to even be sitting there trying to like ruin somebody's life like that, like come on now, it's all said. Yeah. See what he said about Tupac. Man, R.I.P. Tupac.
Producer Rodney Little Rod Jones worked with Combs on his 2023 release album, the Love Album, Off the Grid. In February, Jones filed a lawsuit alleging that during the making of the album from 2022 to 2023, he lived with Combs, who he says repeatedly groped him and forced him to solicitate workers, take illegal drugs, and more. The suit states that Combs would often walk around naked in front of Jones, making him feel uncomfortable. And the music attempted to groom the producer into engaging in activities with other men in the music industry.
That's crazy.
Allegedly promising Jones a Grammy if he complied. Now, how can P. Diddy just guarantee somebody a Grammy? Does he have that kind of power? Does he decide who wins the Grammys? Come on. He literally used his fame and fortune
to try to get every last one of these people.
Every one of them.
But you see what they said. Young Miami, she was asking for Diddy to be released. She said he's not a danger to the community. He a good man. Like, hey, that's wild. And I got the paperwork too.
It's crazy, like one person's perception versus another. In these lawsuits, they even named one of his sons.
That's crazy.
In addition to the allegations of abuse, the suit describes a shooting at a recording studio involving Combs and his son and an unnamed victim. There's so much. And I know we're not diving into Kim Porter, but there was a point in time where there was alleged that he broke her nose on a yacht. He has a history of violence.
Man, hey, what I got to say about that is Diddy knew what he was doing. Diddy knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew what was going to happen.
just
He
didn't
thought
think
he
was
thought he was
God.
going to exactly.
He just didn't think
He thought he was going to get
touchable.
away with it.
Yep. I mean, we could go on, person after person. In May, April Lampros filed a lawsuit naming Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, and Arista Records. Oh my God. She says that Combs often invited her to Bad Boy Studio, promising to mentor and help her advance her career, and began love bombing her. You know, you're so beautiful, you're so this, you're so that, like all the things that women want to hear, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would get in people's heads.
You see what Young Miami said, right? You see what she said, right? Look what she said.
Mm-hmm. I'm writing this letter because I believe it's important for the court to know the side of Sean that isn't always seen or spoken about. The man who poured into others and who gave opportunities, who led by example, and who loved deeply. Oh yeah, he poured into others and gave opportunities, all right, by manipulating them to doing what he wanted them to do with promises of fame and fortune. Like, come on, we can twist the words any which way you want to play this wordplay. He helped shape me both professionally and personally. I bet he did.
Mm-hmm.
He believed in me. I'm sure he believed in you. Pushed me to grow and taught me how to be a better businesswoman. He helped me to find balance between chasing my dreams and being present for my family, because that's what he did. No matter how busy he was, he never missed holidays or special moments with his family. Why would he? He's got to keep up a persona that he's just such a gentleman. But what goes on behind closed doors, nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to engage in the conversation of Bad Boy, because I think they named the place rather correctly without naming it anything else. He was a bad boy.
Uh-huh.
He was a very bad boy. He manipulated these women. He manipulated young girls, not just women, young 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old women.
That's crazy.
A young lady's mind isn't even fully developed for her to make a decision for herself. But hey, yeah, come be famous with me, and I'll give you the world. Like any young girl is going to just be, oh my God, P. Diddy likes me. Stars in the eyes, batting of the eyelashes, because they're young and naive and they haven't experienced life yet. And then he's going to jump in and he's going to take advantage of it and use it to his liking and to his, pocketbook, shall we say, and grow his empire. And where are these young women today? Which one of them are actually famous? Which one of them are actually rich and successful? Young Miami kind of made her own name, in my opinion, but she's still caught up in the legal logistics of all of this.
But you see how Diddy instantly he tried to you feel me, cover a lot of things.
He manipulated the circumstances to his liking to get the outcome that he desired. And now these women are mentally, physically, emotionally broken. And they have to move through life like that. If you've ever experienced an injustice to yourself, you know how that plays on your mind mentally. Like, I don't care what it is. If you've gone through something in life, you sit down in a dark corner at some point in time and reflect.
Yeah. But some people don't do that. Some people sit there and act like they don't know what's going on. But a lot of people be involved in this stuff, and then they try to hide their hand. Just like a couple people, just like Jay-Z did.
Mm-hmm.
You saw what happened to him. He was at his parties too.
Yeah, now look, he's starting to fall apart too. We ain't going to get into all that. But at some point in time, karma comes right back around and bites you. At some point in time, it's all going to catch up with you, and you're either going to be on the right side of it or the wrong side of it. And right now, I can't say that P. Diddy is on the right side of anything.
Yeah, that's why Young Miami is doing what she doing. Young Miami know exactly what's going on. Young Miami know for a fact that she didn't have to sit there and act like Diddy was this and Diddy was that. No, Diddy, he was a terrible human being.
At the end of the day, I honestly have a feeling that, Young Miami probably got manipulated in writing that letter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't believe she wrote that out of the kindness of her heart. I think that there was a phone call made, and you're going to do this, because he still got her in some sort of deal. I get very passionate about this stuff because, women, we go through enough as it is, and we have to deal with enough in life as it is. But to sit there and be manipulated by a person, and then you can't even fulfill those promises that you sit there and you put in Dago in front of us, come on now.
He know what he was doing, and he know for a fact that he bogus for putting himself in this situation. You got to understand, Diddy, he been fighting this trial for a minute now, and ain't nobody finna sit back and act like we don't see this going on or see this happening.
Absolutely not. People see it, and they're not happy with him. I personally...
This was a whole woman, and not just one woman, multiple women he did this to.
Multiple young girls, young, uneducated, naive, haven't even really started life yet girls, not even full-on women. He didn't go after, the 25, 30-year-olds that would have probably told him where to shove it.
Yeah, but he don't want to do that. That'll mess up everything that he got going on.
At the end of the day, the lifestyle that P. Diddy knew, it's over. Vivian, I think you said it very well. He will get locked up. And Tupac case, Kim case is going to be thrown at his face, and you could say bye to Diddy. I think that that's only right, to be able to say goodbye. The sad part is he is so intertwined into the entertainment's movies, music. There's always going to be a piece of him floating around, and people are going to constantly be reminded of his existence. So it's not being a complete goodbye, unfortunately. I don't know. I keep my personal opinion out of that. But at the end of the day, justice needs to be served, and he needs to do the time. He did the crimes. He needs to do the time.
Yeah.
He made his bed. Now lie in it.
They said a lot about Keefe D and what he got paid and all this, but you don't hear Diddy's name not one time in none of those statements unless Keefe D saying it out his mouth. It's multiple people who involved, but we know for a fact that Keefe D even said it. He went bragging about it.
Mm-hmm.
And my fault, child, for jumping from Tupac, from Cassie and Diddy 20 years
it all
to Tupac.
twines together at the end of the day. This is a foundation that P. Diddy has built of a lifestyle of crime and wrongdoing to people who did nothing to him. There was no reason for him to go after Tupac other than the fact that Tupac was a threat to his lifestyle and what he was trying to build in the empire that he was trying to build. Because let's face it, if Tupac was here today, P. Diddy probably wouldn't be relevant.
Yeah. He probably would have been got exposed or whatever they call themselves doing. He would have been, everything would have been went down. And I feel that one thing that I actually think they're not going to say nothing about what happened with Tupac and Kim Porter until after they sentence him.
Well, yeah, because that's going to be a whole nother trial. That's going to be a whole nother ball game.
They dropped the Rico, but what if they try to charge him for a Rico and all this for what happened with Tupac? Remember, Keefe D said Diddy paid him. He said he's an innocent man.
It could happen. And I mean, at the end of the day, is Keefe D really an innocent man? Because he was still a part of it. You made those choices just the same. You accepted whatever bribe, whatever, part he played in it. You chose to play that part. So none of them are innocent at the end of the day. When you sit there and you manipulate your way through life, and you sit there and you cause pain and trauma and suffering, it's going to come back. That's not living a good life. That's not living a clean life in any way, shape, or form. I don't care what you believe in. There's the golden rules. And you treat somebody how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Period. And if you can't do that, then maybe you should step aside and let the other people who can do it and go figure out another business to get yourself into, because this one's going to slap you in the face. It has slapped him in the face. His career is over.
It's dead.
He's lost his deals. He's sold his businesses. He's sold up a lot of his properties just to pay for these legal actions. Even if he gets out now, he still has civil lawsuits to worry about. He still has all the legal team fees to worry about. He does not have this money just sitting around.
Yeah. And I think that it's going to eventually turn into something totally different from what we all thought it was. I think it's actually everything going to actually hit the fan and come out. Everything going to come out the way that it's supposed to be, because you can't hide certain things for too long.
I think Jaguar Wright has nailed it so many times over. And at the end of the day, it just proves he's not a good person. He's not. There's no sugarcoating that. And look at the example he set for his children. A couple of his children are even caught up in this mess. Like, I wouldn't want that for my kids. I would do everything to keep them out of that type of lifestyle. But he's so mindlessly in it that he just pulled them right along. They even had children at the white parties. That tells you he didn't care.
That's
they might have separated them off, but why would you bring children to that type of environment to make it look like a family event? Come on now.
You see the video, you see the picture that they exposed, and I'm gonna show y'all too. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, y'all. Like, at the end of the day, like, I know it's gonna be a lot of people who go against it or probably say like, "No, Diddy ain't that type of guy," whatever. People gonna say whatever they want to say. Look at this. Look what they exposed.
Speaks for itself. They tried to say that they did not have years of friendship under their belt, that they only met at events. I call baloney. Baloney, baloney, baloney. They have been in cahoots, working together, and doing everything. I mean, we could dig deeper into Jay-Z, but at the end of the day, those history speaks for itself.
And everybody ain't gonna tell the same lie.
Nope. And there's too much information out there. If you really dig in and you really do your research, it's there in your face.
But what about the people who sitting back who don't want Diddy to go to jail?
I mean,
because there's a lot of people saying it.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's view of what is right and what is wrong may be skewed. But I think that, you know, all of these people that sat here and gave their testimonies, Thyla Graves, Ashley Parham, Brianna, they wouldn't agree. Aaron, about what P. Diddy did to ruin their lives. Not just one, not just two, not just 5, 10, 15 people at minimum step forward.
So out of those 15 people, like, Cassie was the one that put the nail in the coffin, though.
She's the one that set it all in motion, and like, props to her for her strength, for being able to step out there and put such a personal matter on a platform for the world to see, because no woman wants to expose their dirty laundry, let alone tell something of that nature, that, hey, this is what I had to go through. And then have a video of yourself being beaten in a hallway at a hotel. Like, no one wants to expose that part of their life. Nobody. But she had the guts to stand up there and start her self-care and healing.
Uh-huh. And I salute her for that. Hey, drop the Get Well Cassie's down in the chat box, y'all. Hit the like button if you feel that we need to get justice for Cassie.
And for the people that say, oh, it was consensual, maybe at some point in time, part of it was consensual. But at some point in time, she also told him she had had enough. At some point in time, that woman packed her bags and tried to leave him. And he went to her and beat the crap out of her in her own home.
That's bogus. That's bogus. He should have never did that to no woman.
If a woman says, I'm done, respect her wishes. Because then it's no longer a relationship. That's imprisonment of its own kind.
He would have looked at her as if she was being a bad person, or she was just being, what you call that, when she's just trying to get back at him and ruin his reputation. If she would have told the police a long time ago. Hit the like button if y'all feel that if Cassie would have told the police a long time ago about everything that was going on, that it would have turned out a whole totally different way, and Diddy would have been looking at her as if she betrayed him.
He would have.
When really, it don't matter when they come out. He should have never put his hands on her.
She tried so many times to walk away from him. She tried so many times to tell him enough, even to the point that he isolated her from her friends. Her friends didn't even want to be her friends because of P. Diddy, because they felt like they were in danger, and they probably were. It was probably a good decision for them. At the end of the day, no woman should have to go through that from any man. But
No.
from somebody who has a reputation, who is a star, who, I can make you famous, I can give you this, I can give you that. The false promises just make me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Because he lured these young girls in and he literally taunted them with, this is what I can give you, but you got to do this for me.
Yeah, but they tried to act like Cassie, oh, she was doing this, she was right along with him. If you trick a woman into doing something that she wasn't aware of doing, then you give her all this under, like, man, what they say, Buddy was bringing the shipments in for him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was giving it to the workers, and he
Mm-hmm.
was giving it to Cassie now.
I don't
crazy.
believe she started off, being under the influence. I believe that he got her hooked. And, unfortunately, once you start taking a substance and you get used to it and your body starts to become dependent on it, yeah, she probably started willingly taking it at some point in time. But again, at some point in time, she said enough.
Mm-hmm. Cassie looked at on them pictures and videos, she looked at like she didn't even want to be there. And as we all can remember, what did Diddy say? Like, and this is like, this really, like, this should put the nail in the coffin for Diddy because of the statement that he gave. Look what he said.
Excusable. It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry.
He's saying sorry, but he covered up a lot of things that was going on. He covered it up. Like, you can't, like,
See, I feel a certain kind of way about this apology. I really do. I feel like this apology comes after the fact. This apology came after they had agreed on a settlement, after, and was forced into the next process.
Mm-hmm.
This apology did not come from the whole bottom of his heart. This apology came because now we're trying to save our namesake. And let me just, I feel bad. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. And maybe he is sorry, but it's a little bit too late.
Yeah. And you saw what Jay-Z did. You saw exactly what Jay-Z did.
I don't know that man.
Come on now. You saw what he did. This what he did, y'all. And I'm gonna show y'all. I'm literally gonna show y'all just so y'all can see. We're gonna drop the receipts every time. Let me know down in the chat box. Do y'all think that everything that Diddy apologized about, he only made that apology because his time ran out? It was over with.
That's how I feel about it. I do not
He
feel
already
like that
paid
was
them.
Yeah, I don't feel like that was a sincere, honest to God apology. I feel like that was a try to save my ass apology.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. The game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. Yeah. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us.
Come on now. Like, hey, you can't look, they was right there with each other. You can't excuse that. It's just the look on Jay-Z's face. It, like, see what they said. What do you notice? What do you notice? Like, come on now. Like, did he know exactly what he did, and he know that all love was gonna turn? All love was gonna turn on him. Everybody who sat there and thought that Diddy wasn't gonna get out, he was gonna get out this situation. It's a whole nother ball game now.
And even if he gets out of this situation, again, the empire that he built is gone. No one, I can't say no one, but the empire that he built is gone. It is absolutely gone. Y'all drop down in the chat box how you feel about this. And at the same time, please share this video out. Help us push this out to YouTube. Guys, these women deserve justice. It is not fair what they had to go through. Even if at one point in time it was consensual, it became unconsensual. And no woman should have to live like that. And for the fact of the matter that women in general go through stuff like this every day, I feel like Cassie opened up a door for them. Let their voices be heard. Let justice be served. And let's really put an end to domestic violence. Let's put an end to the chaos. Let's put an end to manipulation. And seriously, take back the authority that a woman has when she says enough. P. Diddy went way too far. He didn't just sit there and, use what should have been for good. He could have went and lifted people up in a positive way. He could have helped people be successful. He could have helped build empires that would have mattered and made a great investment in their communities. No, what did we hear instead? How he has destroyed lives, blowing up people's cars, making people disappear is alleged. But still, nobody's going to tell the same lie. So where did this all come from if it's not true? When you sit there and you manipulate people and you sit there and you buy your way through life, at some point in time, you're no longer going to be able to buy your way through life.
Exactly. And this is why he's going through what he's going through. And I need y'all to look back on the old videos about Diddy that we made. Like, I want y'all to see exactly what was going on and what needed to be told. Because there was a lot of things that needed to be told. A lot.
More came to light during all of these trials than I think anyone ever expected. More witnesses, more lawsuits being filed. I believe it was over 30 lawsuits that were filed. And again, he still has to fight some of these civilly because, the statute of limitations for some things does run out, but you can still file for civil lawsuit. He may not be able to be held for charges, but these people, they deserve to have their stories told. They deserve to have the justice for the pain and suffering that they have gone through.
And if y'all a fan of Cassie, just like what I said in these last videos, I want y'all to actually go back and let us know. If matter of fact, I'm gonna play a little bit part of it because everything that was said about Kim Porter, Cassie, and the rest of them, y'all already know what happened. You see, Young Miami, she had her own stuff going on, but everything that went down, it all came back on them.
They even tried to say she was running, narcotics for him.
Look what the feds got him now. You see what I'm saying? Look, ain't no way it got 7,000 likes if people didn't understand the real truth on what really was going on. Come on now. People really wanted to see justice for these women. And you already know for a fact that there's a lot of people who send back and they don't really know how to come at Diddy. They don't really know what to say about the stuff that Diddy did. They don't know.
Well, and they're scared to speak up on someone who has the power, shall we say, that he portrays that he has. Because, intimidation is a crazy wild card. And people have gone missing.
Yeah.
This is one reason why he's still behind bars and they would not grant him bail because they were afraid for witness intimidation.
He brought it upon himself. I would like to get justice for these women, and I would like to get justice for Tupac. If y'all rocking with Tupac, drop the Tupacs down in the comment section. Hit the like button.
At the end of the day, we really need to stay focused on the facts. You know, again, everybody has their own opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. I would never naysay nobody for that. But come on now. A normal person knows right from wrong, and he knows he was wrong. And he's not a normal person, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a lot of people who look, a lot of people who know exactly what Diddy been doing and what he did. Some people didn't want to speak out, but once the courts dropped it and all them transcripts and receipts,
they didn't have a choice but to speak out. And it was either speak out or be included in, I think, because look at how many people pulled back and really like separated themselves from the cause and everything that was going on in between. If we really saw the list of people that they named off as initially for to be called for witnesses, I think it would be mind-boggling.
We got hundreds of thousands of views talking about Diddy, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 views. That's because we know exactly what we're talking about. It's a lot of people who they don't like what we be saying, especially the other competition.
We
the people who be
the
dropping
truth
them
and the
links
facts.
and stuff.
I hate to tell it to you, I'm not one to sugarcoat nothing. A fact is a fact. If they're sitting here and raiding your house, first of all, in California, to even get a warrant to raid someone's house, you already have to have evidence in hand, because they don't just hand those warrants out for you to go disturb the peace. Second of all, the time and day in which they allowed this to go down, they are not going to let a ritzy neighborhood like that be disrupted without cause. They had just cause to go in this man's house, to go through his safes, to go through his rooms, to go through his cameras, to go through everything that he had.
Hit the like button as soon as y'all come in the building. As people keep coming in and then leaving out, coming in,
That's
leaving
okay.
out.
It might be not their thing. It doesn't matter. Again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I respect that. But the truth is the truth. The facts are the facts, and you cannot take that away for nothing. P. Diddy needs to serve the time. He did the crimes.
Regardless of his apology.
His apology don't mean jack shit. I'm sorry. Like, that did not come from a wholehearted place. That came from his publicist saying, hey, try to save face.